Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Barbershop Love Stories, where we highlight the stories of men and get their take on love, relationships, all the things related. My name is Lena West, and today my very special guest is Victor.
What's going on, everybody?
Victor, so you have an incredible story. I want you to share what was going on October 24th. No, not October 24th. October of 2024.
Should we start right on the day, or should we move backward a little bit, because it was kind of just leading up to it? Not what okay.
You know what? You start wherever you want to start.
Here's what I'll
Let
say.
the people know.
In October of 2024, it was a pivotal moment for my life. This was around the time where I found myself diving a little bit deeper into the world.
Okay.
Even though I didn't really want to, I was, already doing certain things to kind of get myself up out of there. But I saw that I was still almost, knee deep in the world,
Mm-hmm.
to the point where about to hit that ledge, and then now you're gonna be waist deep, right? But October 2024, me and a couple friends were hanging out. Leading up to that, kept saying, I want to have an experience
Mm-hmm.
where I see God. Like, this is what I want to do. That's the only thing I want to do. I want to see God. I've seen a lot of things, but I felt like I never got to see God.
Mm-hmm.
So, wasn't a great decision, I'll say, but my thing was, okay, well, we're going to do some shrooms,
This first time?
No, wasn't my first time.
Okay.
So I was, I was okay with it. I was a little confident in what I was getting into. So I was like, all right, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. So, we went and got some, and we're hanging out at my house, and everything was going good. Everything is fine. And anybody that has ever tried it will say the same. In the beginning, everything is okay. Okay. So my mistake was, at least I guess you can call it a mistake, but I ate more than what I should have,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
They got like portion sizes?
yeah,
How does it work?
yeah, basically. So
Yeah.
you have, different portions give you a different experience,
Okay.
right? So the portion that I took gave me the full experience. So, I'm seeing things, feeling things, hearing things, and I was like, I think this is getting way out of hand. I need to go inside. I need to sit down for a little while. And that's when everything changed. They also say that taking shrooms can also get you to the other dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
You'll start seeing a lot of spiritual things, and that's what started happening. I remember I was sitting on my couch, and everything seemed normal at first, right? And I remember I just wiped my face, and what looked like I was in hell, right? Everything around me was as if I was in hell. My ceiling lights had thorns on them. My front door was like just chained up, locked. It was real dark. It had a red hue to it. And on the other side of my couch, this is crazy. On the other side of my couch, I saw two demonic spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked up right in front of me, I saw which would look like their leader. Tall one, big. And in that moment, the only thing that I could say was, God saved me.
Wow.
God, this isn't the end of my story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know you're not gonna leave me here. And I just kept calling on God and calling on God. And I remember I stood up and went to walk, and what they told me was like I flatlined. I was out. I just remember them picking me up, and I went to the bed. I could feel my body starting to go into like a shock, trying to give me ice and trying to give me all this stuff. I feel like I'm I'm overdosing or something. If you know what that feels like, because I really don't, because this was the first time any of this ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember going to the bathroom, and when I was in the bathroom, I felt like I was about to vomit. And before I could, I looked at my bed, and my daughter, she has this stuffed animal. It's pink. It's a little like a rabbit, right? And it was sitting on my bed, and just burst out into tears. I shut the door. I told my friend to stay on the other side of the door if I need him, and that's when I surrendered my life to God.
Wow. So somebody might ask, what does this have to do with love, relationships, and all the things? And I'll tell you. He called me the next morning and told me about that and that experience. And I am a living witness that this man did a 180, completely changed, completely turned around, a totally different person. So, there's a scripture that says he'll make us a new creation. And he literally was a different man. Victor, you were a ladies' man. You were, yeah.
So I've
Yeah.
been told.
Yeah, so you've been told. Growing up, did you see a lot of relationships that were like healthy and, like good?
Spotted
Mm-hmm.
in my memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't say that I saw a lot of bad relationships, but definitely not the best. I would say that the majority of my family, everybody has been divorced.
Okay.
My mom, she was divorced from my dad, basically my childhood, teenage years, adulthood. She got married. Ooh, what's this? Maybe 2010, 2011. So like right before I got out of high school. But even then, it was, I won't say that it was the best.
So before October, what did like your dating and your relationships look like?
Fun.
Fun.
That's it. That is the best way to say it. It just looked fun, and all of it was temporary.
Mm-hmm.
There were some, or I'll say like one or two, that while I was in it, I was like, okay, this might work,
Mm-hmm.
right? But at the end of the day, I always had to question myself, like, do you really want this? You done having fun, right? And the question was always, no, I'm not.
How did that affect like how you saw women, your mindset back then?
Well, back then, how I saw it was, and I'm partially to blame on this, right? So I don't want, and ladies, don't take offense to this, but I would always say, okay, if she let me do this with her, man, does she really respect herself? So that's how I would always say it. So then whenever I would meet a woman and she's like giving me the eyes or, making little slick comments, I'm like, come on. Like that. If
But
that's
you
the
never
way,
said no.
but I never said no. So that's why I say, I'm also to blame because I had, after October, that's when I started asking myself, like, do you really respect yourself, bro? Are you respecting your temple?
Ooh, now that's a good one. That's a good one because I feel like as men, well, the teaching is not there that men's bodies are valuable too. And that when you're sharing yourself with multiple people, there's harm that comes with it.
Yeah.
So
That's true. And I used to say that a lot to some of my friends. I would say that having a young man, like if you're raising a boy, one of the things that you should be teaching them is stay focused. Don't worry about having girlfriends. Don't be out here, trying to have sex with everybody. Like you don't need to do that to be cool.
yeah.
Versus what society teaches us, and then what some of our parents have taught us, and what a lot of our peers are saying is, oh, you're in your 20s. Oh, you're, a teen, like have fun, date all these people, don't get tied down. When in reality, like you telling them to go on a path that's about to mess them up
Yeah, it's
for a long
destructive.
time.
Yeah.
So
What was the first age that you remember that that was awakened in you?
What do you mean? Like, where?
Well, I'll just say lust.
Oof.
Because I think like the average age of exposure to pornography nowadays is like 7, 8 years old.
Oh,
You know,
yeah. I was young when I very first saw, you know, pornography. It's like
hmm
on VHS.
yeah,
Is that what the old timers say? No.
yeah. The boomers say,
Yeah. It was on VHS, and that was the very first time I ever saw it.
hmm
Now I won't say that that's when lust got stirred up, because I didn't even know what I was really watching. Like, I
mm,
see this and I see that this woman, she's having a good time, and this guy seems like he's having a good time, right? But I didn't really understand what was going on. Like, I
hmm
haven't even hit puberty yet, right? I want to say maybe when, oh, yeah, I was a little late starter, but high school.
yeah,
High school is when it actually started. Where I was like, okay, well, I like this.
hmm
Well, she fine. This and the third. But prior to that, no.
wow. What do you think the triggers? I mean, because you're a man, so beforehand, what were the triggers that had to do with like lust? Like, were you stressed? Were you bored? Were there times where you like lonely?
Okay. Well, what I learned about myself, it was stress.
Mm-hmm.
Stress was my my thing. Like, okay, if I'm stressed, I'm gonna just lean into lust, and that's my get out of free card.
Mm,
Like, okay, all this is going on, but I'll go talk to this lady, get
yeah.
some, company, we'll do this, and then I'll be relieved of my daily troubles or whatever else is going on. That was my thing. It was never drugs, it
hmm
was never alcohol. Like, that stuff was just a recreational
Yeah. You
thing to
could put
do.
them down.
Yeah,
It
I could
wasn't a
put
big
them
deal.
down. Like, it was never a problem. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That What you just said, that's crazy. Okay. I've been able to cold turkey just about any and everything, right?
hmm
But then when it came down to lust, like having sex with women, that was the one thing. If I tried to cold turkey,
hmm
like, I was having an itch. Like,
Yeah.
man, what's
Huh.
going on? Like, I need to go talk to somebody. I need to go do this. I need to go do that. Huh.
And I mean, I didn't know what you were necessarily doing physically, but I
Right.
do remember like um, when I first met you, there was, a few people before you, were in a committed relationship and stuff. And
Mhm.
so it wasn't like a huge gap of time where you were like single, or you weren't entertaining or, you know, doing things like
Yeah,
that.
that
So,
that's true. But I will say this too. You know, it wasn't always being sexually involved.
hmm
Sometimes, yeah, it was just a conversation.
conversation. Yeah.
Sometimes it was just, like, easing my mind like that.
hmm
Even though I know that, well, I know now it's something I don't need. If I feel stressed out, if I feel alone, if I feel like I need company, now I know that I can just lean on God. Now I
Yeah.
know I can pray. Now I know I can go on my Bible, or hit up the guys in the fellowship group, and what I'm saying, do
Yeah, so
that.
let's talk about that because after that night, like I said, you turned into a totally different person. And so, how do you handle things now, and what's your mindset?
Okay. You mean as far as, like, when
Like
I'm
how you
stressed and
see,
things like that, or
well,
like,
yeah, and then like how you see intimacy, how you see relationships, things such as that.
how I see intimacy? Well, you can definitely be intimate without being sexually active,
hmm
right? But what has changed for me is that I I no longer crave that, right?
Mm,
So now when I see relationships, I see as something to value, something to nurture,
hmm
something to truly and genuinely care for. Versus back then, it was just, you're just here. I'm just,
hmm
and the same thing for intimacy. Back then, I didn't really want to go somewhere by ourselves, candlelight, all this stuff. Versus now, I like that. I like the intimate part where we can do these things without having to, you know, take that next step
Hmm.
and let this just be enough for us,
Yeah.
you know.
I remember years ago somebody told the little story about how like sex is like watching potatoes boil. You know how they have like the foam on top and everything. And so when you have sex, you can't see what's below there, what's cooking and what's boiling and stuff like that. And I was like, it's interesting because it like it clouds what a relationship really is, and I feel like it clouds who that person is because that dopamine is just so high and so incredible.
Yeah.
So when you take that off the table, you can kind of more clearly see certain things.
Yeah, that's true. And I was just having that conversation with someone too
Mm-hmm.
about removing sex because yes, it does cloud your vision. It clouds your discernment,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're not making decisions off of, okay, do I actually like this person?
Right.
Am I actually hearing what they're saying? Because then if I don't like what they're saying or I don't like the way they're moving,
Mm-hmm.
but the sex was all right, well, we'll just do this and I'll just entertain you, you know? And it's not healthy. It's
Yeah.
not healthy at all. It's not healthy for both parties,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
definitely agree. I think it's a rarity that men voice that though, because the purity culture really kind of focused more on like women not doing things, but I don't think it was like I don't remember any boys getting purity rings and like taking oaths like I'm gonna
Hmm.
not do anything. So
And we should.
I agree.
We definitely should. Now, I'm not gonna say like, yeah, we should all get a ring and bump our fists together or anything like that. But um, yeah, no, we should. We should practice that more often because it really does something for you.
Hmm.
Especially spiritually. And you get yourself a lot closer to God, like
Yeah, talk
way
about that.
closer. Well, so since I've been doing this, since I've like really got intentional about this,
Hmm.
I'm able to be in my prayer a lot more. I'm able to meditate and meditate on the word
Hmm.
and the good things of God. So I'm able to do that more. I'm able to catch those thoughts that don't mean me no good, that have
Mm.
no part in my life,
Hmm.
right? I'm able to, read my Bible without any type of distraction. So it helps a lot. And people don't really know that, you know. But not also that, even physically, like it helps, you know, clear your face up, tone up. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you saying you was greasy and pimply
I ain't gonna say
beforehand?
all that, you know what I mean? But it definitely helps,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I feel like I was like during the seasons, and I'm currently celibate now, but during those seasons, like I had more focus and I had more clarity on like I got a lot done. I got a lot done. It's something about like doing things outside of covenant that it makes, at least for me, it just made things like messy or in my life.
Hmm. It
And
does.
yeah, so I'm here for it. Um, how do you think going forward, because I don't know if you're in a relationship now or not, or what the status is right now for sure. But how do you what do you see in the future?
In my future.
Hmm. Would you date someone who wasn't celibate?
Well, I mean, if she date me, she gonna really have no choice unless she gonna go do it somewhere else, and then in that case, we're not dating.
I guess not.
you know. Um, but I will date, and I will express how that is, the path that I'm taking.
Hmm.
So, I would definitely give someone the option whether or not they want to stay,
Hmm.
and involve themselves, on the same type of path that I'm on.
Yeah.
And if not, it's cool.
Hmm.
I know not everybody's doing the same thing, so I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess when it comes to relationships, I definitely want to be involved with a woman that spiritually grounded,
Hmm.
that believes in God. that believes in Jesus Christ, that, attends. Well, she doesn't even have to attend church like every single day or
Yeah.
every Sunday, but is intentional, and it is serious about growth.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I'm not perfect. I was a digital disciple yesterday, so hey, it's okay.
It is okay. It definitely is okay.
But in all seriousness, I just want whatever God wants for me.
And I think that's the main difference when you have an encounter with Christ. Like he makes it where like you lay down your will and your plans for your life and you surrender to whatever he has for it. I think this is the first time in my life I've come to the point where if I don't get married, it's cool. It's okay. Like I just want God's will for me. And I was never at that point. I mean, I've been single, y'all, this is crazy. Like since 2004, like single. We talking about like decades, And I was never really like comfortable with that, but I had an encounter with God last year also, and it was a game changer. It was like, oh, this is what it means to be fully surrendered. Fully surrendered. It's just a different way of living.
It is. I'd say for me in the beginning, it was difficult because I was so used to talking to somebody. It didn't mean that we had to be active, but I was always just talking to somebody because I just kind of wanted that company. But then when I really started getting serious with my walk, then I was like, all right, God, well, if I need to let this go, I'm gonna just let it go. Or and if you think that I'm not gonna be able to let it go, just take it and let it be what it is that you want from me. And it's happened. It's happened a few times. And at first I'd be like, nah, let me try to get back. But then I had to stop and think like, no, this is what God wants. Not about what I want.
So you try to open doors that you had closed or he had closed?
Yeah, I did. I'm not gonna
try to
lie.
dial some numbers that,
Yeah. But it was blue at first. It went green. Nah. But I just, how I see it now is I don't want to try to manufacture anything.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be something that I do, because I know that who God has for me, he's already taken care of everything. He's already provided me the woman that I'm supposed to marry. He's already provided me, if we talking about the career wise, a job or finances or a car, drug, whatever you want to call it. God has already provided that. It's just about when I wake up, it's not, why, but how. Like, how do you want, me to do this? How do you want to use me today? Teach me, because I don't want to lean on my own understanding.
Right.
I don't want to lean on my own knowledge. I don't want to lean just on my own experience, because I see what that did for me back then. So I'm doing something new this time, and this new is following you, is being with you, and that's all I want to do. So when it comes to relationships, that's where it's at. Is what have you got for me, God?
Yeah, I think the two scriptures I kind of lean on is to lean not on my own understanding, and then I forgot the other scripture that quick.
What's what is it? Proverbs 3:2. Not 3:2, but 3 as well. Where it says trust in God. Trusting God with everything.
Yeah. And this is what it was. Be anxious for nothing and take everything in prayer and supplication and stuff. And I think like there's freedom in that, in just allowing him to just do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by this way of living, like, because I lived so many years trying to like take care of things myself and then sprinkle a little God in it, and then, wonder why it wasn't like working out. I just thought it was like a fluke and it kept happening. But the reality was that like when we yield 100%, like that's when God can show up,
But it's like one of the guys in the fellowship group. Shout out to Derek.
Hey, Derek.
he was saying something inside of one of our disciple calls,
Mm-hmm.
and basically saying about, okay, when you give something to God, God will give something back to you,
Mm.
right? So regardless of what it is. So if lust is something that I have been dealing with that has been a struggle,
Mm-hmm.
let me just give this to God. And I know, and it's not that I'm expecting, or it's like, God, I know you know you're supposed to give something back to me now. Like, so I need X, Y. No. God, let me just get this to you. What he did for me. More family time, more time with
Mm.
my daughter, more gym time,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, more business time. So now I'm able to focus on these other things. I'm able to put that energy over there.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, even on my downtime, I'm not thinking about, man, I wonder if I can get so and so, hook up with me, or
Mm-hmm.
like, it's none of that. None of that.
I love that. I love that. Do you have anybody in your life right now that like you're mentoring or anything? I know it's fairly new, like the change
Mm,
stuff.
that I'm mentoring. I can't say that I do.
But you do have a group of guys that you have community with that,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I was forever thankful. I was invited to an event. It was called In the Garden,
Mhm.
and near the end of the event, we all the men got together, and we were all talking, and just talking some real God stuff.
Mhm.
You know, this is part of what I was saying. Guys should come together without the rings, but put our fist in a circle and say, hey, we're gonna walk this walk together.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
doesn't matter if I'm further down this walk
Mhm.
than you are, but we're gonna walk this walk together, and we're gonna help each other grow. And since then, we were all able to, exchange numbers.
Mhm.
We get on a call on Thursdays. It hasn't been every Thursday. Sometimes we all got something going on. Sometimes I got something going on myself.
Mhm.
So, but we do get on the calls on Thursdays, Bible study, just fellowship, check in on each other and see how we're doing. Then
Mhm.
not only that, but we have the open line of communication within the group chat. So, you got different guys in there, from different backgrounds
Mhm.
and different career fields. And so it's wonderful to be a part of a community like that.
Yeah.
And I would love for more men to be a part of something like that. But, sometimes that's a struggle too.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast yesterday and I can't remember who it was exactly, but they were saying nowhere in the Bible do you find isolation. You don't find somebody who's just like, it's just me and Jesus. We just kicking it together. Like, and a lot of men are like, oh, I don't do the church or I don't do, a group or anything like that. It's just me and God. That's all I need. I don't need nothing more. And I believe that is that's not going to get you where you want to go. We need community and accountability.
Church is important too.
Mm-hmm.
And since that pivotal moment in my life, I want to say maybe December or January, when I started attending church again.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped out a lot,
Yeah.
And I was able to see other men in there, single men,
Mm-hmm.
men with children, guys going in there just waiting in line, waiting to go in. But as soon as they go in there, like those same guys that you think that look cool, you had a conversation with outside, jumping up and down,
Yeah.
praying, reading their Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Their Bible look like it's been beat up,
Yeah.
like they're in there. And I think that's important for us too, because it gets rid of that pride and that ego,
Mm-hmm.
and lets you know that, hey, we're all here. We're all here together.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter where you're from, where I'm from, what my finances look like, what yours look like. We're all here together for one purpose and one purpose only.
Yeah.
And that's to serve God. And when you have that, it helps. It eases all the stress, all the anxiety, all the negative thoughts you may have about church. And I know a lot of people sometimes they in church and get a bad taste, but
Mm-hmm.
got to get you a community.
You got to. Plus, God didn't hurt you. Those people who were flawed,
Yeah,
those are the ones that hurt
it
you.
wasn't God.
It definitely wasn't God. So come on back. Come on
Yeah.
back now.
Come on back.
Yeah, I got a friend of mine. His name is KB. Hey KB, I don't know if you're watching. Hope you are.
KB.
But he, like you, I was able to watch like his transition too, because something happened like last year also. And when I tell you, like, he dived all the way in with like church and a men's group and stuff like that, and just to see how like his life has changed by just like being in community of other men who are seeking God and who want to live right and who don't want to live the way that they were living before. And it's just a game changer to get in community.
It is. It is. And that's why I say that, like, everybody needs that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs that. You know, we do community when we want to be the biggest businessman. We do community when we want to be the best football player.
Mm-hmm.
We do community when we go into player rallies. You know, we go out to the club, we go out with our boys.
Yeah.
So why we can't do community when it's about, you know, uplifting ourselves spiritually?
You're right, because like, what random man like goes to the club alone, like just
I mean,
all the time?
Well, yeah, all the time. I think that's a little
that's a little strange, but yeah.
But but shout out to you guys that can do that. I mean, hey,
go to the club by himself?
No, I mean, look, that takes some mental strength. But yeah, you need that. You need that community big time.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So
I definitely agree. Let's see here. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to see how God's working in my life.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to. I look forward to that every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I used to stress. I no longer stress.
You gotta say it like Atlanta. Stress.
Yeah. I used to be stressing big time. But now I no longer do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I used to worry about what jobs were gonna come in. I no longer do. I used to have anxiety. I used to, you know, have the negative talk, sometimes gossiping, and nothing. And like I tell you, I give all glory to God, because if it wasn't for him, I couldn't do this on my own.
Yeah.
I'll just be running around in circles. That's it. Fighting my shadow.
I remember trying to like sort of kind of get you close to God a few years back, and we went to the Chinese restaurant, and I was like, yeah, you should like, you know, do a Bible study with your girl and like do this and do that. I was like, and look, God was like, no, I got some mushrooms waiting on him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, that was a moment.
Yeah.
It was a moment. You know, I just remember just crying and just bawling my eyes out, because I knew how powerful God was.
Yeah.
You know, in that moment, you know, is when I experienced the fear of God, where I experienced his love and his compassion, his forgiveness and his mercy. At that moment, I no longer wanted to live my life without God. You know, and I know some people might say, oh, you know, that's just the experience of a bad trip. Or, man, you was just going crazy.
I mean, I would say that too, except here we are months later and your life has changed.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's how I see it too. But I knew what I saw. I knew what was going on in that bathroom. And you mean to tell me, as soon as I surrender my life to God in that bathroom, over that toilet, feeling like my insides are coming out, that I jolt up like nothing ever happened.
Wow.
That it just ceased in that moment. They were looking at me like, man, you okay? Like, you were just
dying over there.
You were just dying, man.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? And I was just looking at them like, yeah, everything's cool. Like, I'm good now. You know, I know who I'm rocking with now.
Yeah.
Like, that's
my
it.
allegiance.
Yeah. And it's not like I never had any type of relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I grew up in church. My mother, you know, she was good about that. She took
Mm-hmm.
us to church every Sunday, Wednesdays, involved in, the youth programs, ministry, the
Mm-hmm.
whole nine, right? So, I had that background. Just I got older, became a teenager, got my first car, and I was a big player after that.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't tell me nothing. So
Yeah. Well, I always tell people like sitting in the garage don't make you a car. You know, you can go to church a million times, hear a million messages, be on the praise team, and still not be saved, still
that's
not be
right.
living for God, and not have surrendered your life. And it's the surrender and it's repentance that makes a difference. Um, Fun fact, y'all. This is my brother for real. Like we locked in. We've been locked in since 2018.
Yeah,
My
2018.
brother, my brother. I was all the way in Wichita, Kansas. My dad had a birthday, and in the middle of the night, the Lord had me praying, and I was like, this is weird. I didn't know what I was praying for, but like it was an intense, like, yo, praying in the spirit, like I got, like I'm doing this thing. I don't know what's going on, but had to be doing it. And then you called that next morning, and I was like, yo, what time was this kind of like going on? And you told me, and like I really believe that the Lord knew, first of all, He placed you in my life.
Oh,
Um, I think I was interceding for you for sure.
that's amazing. I
Yeah.
love it.
So
I do.
I was like, oh my gosh, the timeline there, crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
I do want to say that you don't have to be scared to go to church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says that if you're scared, go to church. Right? Like, nah, you don't gotta be afraid. You just gotta want something good for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
good for your life. Because yeah, you can make all this money, you have a beautiful wife, beautiful home, beautiful
Mm-hmm.
family, but spiritually, are you beautiful? Spiritually, are you taken care of? And those are questions that you got to ask yourself by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
not with anybody else's opinions or just their 2 cents that they want to put in. You got to sit down and ask yourself these things. Like, do you know where you're going when that clock hit?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I had that moment, and I think every man, every woman, every teenager that to take a time out your day or out your week or however you want to do it. Really just ask yourself these questions because tomorrow's not promised.
Mm-hmm.
But we can, be the best versions of ourselves today,
Yeah.
being prepared for tomorrow, if Lord willing.
That's another thing, Lord willing. I feel like before my encounter last year, um, I always kind of said, I want to live a long life. And now I'm like, you give me the years that you want me to have. It's all good. Like, there ain't nothing on this earth that like would, that is worth like me staying around for or anything like that. And I'm not saying I'm suicidal, y'all. Like, I love life. But that grip that I had on like trying to think that I could mentally control things, I don't have any. It's like
Right.
God's will, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever.
That's right.
So
That's how I see it too. Just God, if it's in your plans, it's in your plans.
yeah,
I'm not
I'd
gonna
rather
worry about
go
the
that
rest.
route.
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about the rest. It keeps me looking good, but I'm not stressing.
He ain't
I'm good.
stressing no more. You
I
know
ain't
what I'm saying?
stressing. Good.
Not at
Yeah.
all. Not at all. So Victor, just to tie it all up, what would you say to your younger self about lust, love, and the love of God?
I tell myself like this: bro, life is easy. It can be very easy, but you have to allow God to take over. The longer that you try to hold on to the bull, it will
Mm.
kick you off eventually, and it will hurt you. So don't think that you're invincible. But also focus on yourself. So be focused on these women and all these other things that are going on in this world. Just focus on you. Stay prayed up. Keep reading your Bible. Attend church when you can. Focus on you. And everything else is gonna fall in place.
Love that. I love that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you
Of
coming,
course. No,
stopping
thank
by.
you.
The potty.
Yeah.
So I said
the
that
potty.
to somebody and they were like, what?
The potty.
The potty.
Thank you for coming to the potty.
To the pods. Pods.
But thank you. I feel honored to be here with you. I'm always watching you. So
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Watch it over and over and over again because I get views that way. And then leave a comment or two.
I got like 3 phones and a computer.
Okay.
And a TV.
Okay.
So
Get a tablet.
Yeah, we know how to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, y'all make sure that y'all like, share, and subscribe. And once again, thank you again for watching Barbershop Love Stories. Gang, gang.